Good evening and welcome to the Bodhi Tree Hawaii if you're joining us on YouTube. And if you're joining us live, welcome. Okay, so we always start out with a few announcements, and you guys probably have you ever been to the Bodhi Tree before? Okay, so there's a restroom in the foyer. There are two locks on the restroom. There's a slide lock and there's a lock on the handle. The problem is if you use the one on the door handle and you leave without unlocking it because you can, it will lock behind you. So just be careful if you use that. Otherwise, there's the slide lock. The other announcement I always make is that the Bodhi Tree has been very generous to us. Amy and I don't accept Dana, but there is this place is always in need of a little more funding. So in the back here, out in the foyer, there's a box sitting on the cabinet, and they would be happy to accept any dana that you would like to give. And more announcements. You're perfectly, you got here now, right? We always start now. It's now. Benjamin, what time is it on your watch? Now, yeah. Anyway, so there are a couple announcements that Trin, I don't know what happened to her. She dropped me this little piece of paper and said, no, there's going to be an Easter community gathering here at the Bodhi Tree. And that will be on Saturday, April 4th, which is not Easter, and it will be at 11 a.m. And I'm not quite sure what they'll be doing, but the other gatherings I've been here, there have been snacks and food and social and talking. And I believe there's a sitting before that you can attend at 9 o'clock. So, yeah, 9 to 11.
I'm sorry, the sitting is 9 to 10, and then the Easter community gathering is at 11.
And then the next weekend, another way of showing your generosity to this community is to participate in a cleanup. And that will be on Saturday, April 11th, also at 11 a.m. I got it confused before and was like, oh, so on the 4th it's at 11 and on the 11th it's at 4 a.m. And she said, no. But it won't be too onerous. I'm sure anybody can find something to do. So if you're of a mind to do that, it would be a wonderful way of participating in the community as a whole, because there's a lot more than just the Bob and Amy show. And speaking of Amy, perhaps while we're meditating tonight, we could send her a little metta and a little compassion, because she's under the weather and won't be with us again tonight on the television, which is usually to my left. So, Amy, if you're watching, I hope you're well. Please heal quickly. And for those who may not have been here at this sitting before, it started last year when another teacher asked us to cover for them on Thursday nights, and that didn't work out. And we were asked to come to we found a place at the Bodhi Tree, and then we were asked after a few weeks, oh, just stay on. And because it didn't conflict with the Aloha Sangha, we did stay on, and it's been wonderful. But we do sort of start more or less the same way at Aloha Sangha. We like to start with a little stretching for a few minutes, and then we'll have a sitting. Then we'll have a quick break for about 7 minutes, and you're free to explore outside. At that time, we would ask that you stay in silence. There is water up here. There's the restrooms. There's the lanai, and it's not raining for a change, so it's beautiful out there. They have a lovely view. And then instead of doing what happens at Tom's is another sitting, we do a Dhamma talk, then a sitting. So it's a little bit different. So if everybody would stand, sorry, Trent. And if you're unable to stand or unable to follow any of the directions, please do not do them. We don't want anybody hurt. And Trin, we don't want anybody putting their hands up into the fan. So, so some of us tall people, yeah. We have a young man who joins us fairly often who's about 7 feet tall. And I mean, he doesn't even have to try to touch the ceiling. I have to get up on my toes to do it, but he can get his hands in there. Let's just stand with our feet hip width apart and our knees gently flexing, just being comfortable, allowing our belly to drop, our shoulders to drop. Perhaps put a little bit more weight on the balls of your feet than your heels, so you're standing up straight and maybe leaning just a little forward, or it feels like that. We don't need to close our eyes. I know I can lose my balance pretty easy if I close my eyes, so leave them open. And let's just start rocking very gently, using our legs though. We're not moving our body this way. We're using our legs to push off. Push off with our right, push off with our left, push off. If we add a little twist to it, our arms will start moving with us a little. And again, we're not really moving our arms. We're letting our bodies twisting move our arms. A little more push. Our arms can go out. And again, be really careful with lower backs, or if you have shoulder problems, or upper backs. Anything with your back, really. And if we put more energy into it, start tapping. We're just trying to get our qi moving. This comes from medical qigong. And one of my teachers at Spirit Rock did that last summer for several weeks. We'd get up and do fun stuff like this. All right. And we start a little less twisting. Our arms will start dropping naturally. Just let them keep swinging. We slow down and come to a natural spot. All right. The next one, we're going to spread our qi up and down, sort of smooth it out. So we'll start in a prayer position around our heart chakra. And as we breathe in, we can move up about an inch and out. And just imagine that as we do this, we're smoothing this energy line that runs here. So up and out and down. Breathe in up, and we can move up a little higher. See if we can picture and hold in awareness that sense of energy field running down our central meridian. Up a little higher. Up a little higher. If you have shoulder issues, don't go further up than you can. Just feeling that energy being smoothed. We can feel it either in the front of our body or even down our spine. If you can go up, go all the way up like we're touching a bell. Ringing a bell up there and down. If you lose track of the breathing, it's okay. Just remember to breathe. Your body will do it for you. Okay, when the next time we get up, leave our hands up. And open. Take all that and just sprinkle it around as our arms come down. Okay, we can just shake it out a little. If you feel any tingling in your fingers, that's the qi. moving around. Okay, another fun one is playing with our chi ball. So we're going to take our hands, pretend we're holding a big grapefruit. We can just move it around side to side. This is also a theater exercise if you've ever done it. Moving a ball. But in this one, we're moving a ball of energy. Did anyone see, what is it, the Doctor Strange movies where he's creating those vortexes of energy and then they step through? Well, we can sort of imagine it like that. And as we do this, let's make it bigger. Imagine we're taking this ball of energy and chi, making it as big as we want, all the way around us. Allowing ourselves to feel it. Energy moving through our arms, our spine, our legs. And we can start making it smaller again, bringing it in, size of a basketball, back down to a grapefruit. And when we've got it down, let's hold it in front of us and throw it up in the air. One more fun movement. How many people like Chinese dragons? They're benevolent. They're not the Western dragons. They swim through the air bringing good fortune. Yeah, you've got it. So we'll take our hands and we'll put them up. Now, the way we do this is, if you go to the wrong side, don't worry, just keep going. We're going to take our arms and go to the right or the left, it doesn't matter. And then across our throat, and across our midsection, down around our knees, back up across our midsection, our throat area, and back up. And the same way down again. Just getting our whole body into this movement. Sweet, lovable, benevolent dragon flying through the air, bestowing blessings. And next time we get to the top, hold. And whichever way you went the first time, go the other way. And the next time we get to the top, we'll just hold again. Okay, this is one of my favorite ones now. We're going to let all that excess energy out. Get our fingers like claws. Imagine there's a giant scratching post in front of us, and we're cats. And be careful when you do this, but we're going to drop with our knees as we claw and let out that cat sound. And one more if you got your hands up. And just let yourself droop now that we're down here. Just hang for a minute. We're not trying to touch the floor. If you can, that's great. We're just letting the head hang and breathing into our back, like we're breathing a cat's back up or a tortoise shell. And as we breathe out, we relax it. Breathe in and arch again. Out. Nice big breaths. One more big breath. And on the next exhale, rise, but do it from your knees. Don't use your back to push you up. Use your knees to pull us up. And let's just stand again. Letting everything settle. Noticing if we feel any difference in our body from when we started. And once we're settled, let's mindfully make our way to our seats for our first sitting. Our first practice tonight will be metta. I mentioned that Amy is ill in this island, and other islands, Molokai and Maui, have just come through some pretty devastating rains. And so we'll cultivate some metta to go for ourselves first, and then to others, and then to our community. Be as comfortable as you like. In metta, we don't need to be particularly upright and alert. I always like to start with a few big breaths just to settle myself in. Allowing our consciousness to settle into our body, just as our body is settling into the cushion or chair. Traditionally in metta, we start with ourselves, but many of my teachers have taught me that sometimes the self isn't the most lovable person around. And so I've always been taught that perhaps it might be best to bring to mind the most lovable being or creature in our life. This could be a puppy, a kitten, a baby, a beloved auntie who always has a kind word. And just allow ourselves to develop an intention to offer them loving kindness. Holding them in our awareness, we might use simple phrases or simply the warmth that we can generate from our heart space. But if we do use phrases, perhaps, may you be safe. May you be happy. May you be healthy. May you live with ease. Your own phrases are perfectly acceptable. If our minds are especially busy, I've always been taught that lengthening the phrases can be an aid. Perhaps something like, may you be safe and protected from inner and outer dangers. May you be happy and open to joy. May you be healthy in body, heart, and mind. And may you live with ease, wisdom, and equanimity. As we pervade metta to this easiest of all beings in our life, we can explore how this sits with us. Is this easy to do? A little difficult? And even if we can't really set the intention to pervade metta, it's okay. After all, this is practice. May you be safe. Be happy. Be healthy. Live with ease. Now let's bring ourselves to mind. My teachers also taught me that most of the time pervading metta, we really ought to be directing it at ourselves. If it's helpful, you might hold an image of yourself in awareness, or just the sense of self. I find often that putting my hand over my heart when offering myself metta seems skillful. May I be safe. May I be happy. May I be healthy. And may I live with ease. The phrases, of course, are always optional. I often use the image of a candle in my heart space, simply glowing, whether dim or strong, all fine, and a warmth of metta pervading my body, and offering metta to myself. If you wish to continue with the phrases, please do. Or we might continue with the image of the candle, expanding our awareness and noting that the light and warmth of this candle of metta we've lit is pervading through the room to the other members of this Sangha. And perhaps especially to our missing Sangha member Amy tonight as she heals from her illness. Pervading metta in front of us, to the right, behind us, to the left, above, and below. May all beings touched by this light be safe, be happy, be healthy, live with ease. expanding once again to all members of the community around us. These islands, especially those touched by the storms. Flavored with compassion or karuna. May all beings be safe, be happy, be healthy and healed, and live with ease. Allowing this light of metta to pervade in all directions, to all beings, including ourselves. And as we near the end of this sitting, let's draw our attention back to our own self, our bodies, and again offer ourselves metta. May I be safe and protected. May I be happy and open to joy. May I be healthy in body, heart, and mind. And may I live with equanimity and ease and wisdom. In a moment, I'll invite the bell to ring. There's no need to hurry back. Simply allow the sound to carry our metta wherever the sound may choose. We'll now take about a 7-minute break, preferably continue in silence. The restroom's open, there's water in there. It's not raining, and it looks like there's a lovely view in the wind out there, so feel free to go out on the lanai, and I'll call us back with a bell. Well, my voice is not so great. Amy is ill this week. And sadly, I hope nobody was here last week fell ill. I came down with something on Thursday last week. I'm on the mend now. I'm not contagious or anything. Um, but my voice is a little shot. And that got me thinking when I was talking with Amy today, and she said she couldn't make it because she was ill, that perhaps I'd given her like a virus over the computer, but probably not. She is, as you know, in Alaska. So, Amy, we wish you well and hope you heal quickly. Um, but it got me thinking about practicing when conditions aren't ideal. I sort of always have this picture of myself coming to meditation many, many years ago, thinking, oh, well, I'll set up this perfect little altar. It'll be a perfect day. I'll sit. It will be perfect. That has never happened. I sit in a specific place. I do have some Buddhas at my house. I have not yet had a perfect sitting. I have sat with pains in my arms or my legs or my head, with thoughts, with noises outside. We usually get a helicopter here at some time during the night on Wednesday that's very disturbing for some. And so that just isn't a thing that happens. And so being able to develop practicing any time is good. The Buddha never really talked about just make everything perfect and practice, right? He told people to go out in the woods and sit where there's critters and things like that. And when they came back and said the critters scared us, he gave them the Metta Sutta to go back and practice around these spirits, is really what they were, tree spirits, instead of not practicing. So, and there's a wonderful sutta that I'm going to bend a little to apply to this, but it's on heedfulness. And the sutta goes like this. Monks, there are four, by the way, you guys can be monks tonight, just letting you know. Monks, there are 4 instances where heedfulness should be exercised. Which 4? Abandon bodily misconduct, develop good bodily conduct. Don't be heedless there. Abandon verbal misconduct, develop good verbal conduct. Don't be heedless there. Abandon mental misconduct, develop good mental conduct. Don't be heedless there. Abandon wrong view, develop right view. Don't be heedless there. When in a monk, bodily misconduct is abandoned, good bodily conduct is developed. Verbal misconduct is abandoned, good verbal conduct is developed. Mental misconduct is abandoned, good mental conduct is developed. Wrong view is abandoned, right view is developed. Then he has no fear of death as it relates to the next life. So he says, don't be heedless in our bodies. Don't be heedless in speech, and don't be heedless in mind or in our views. And so I got to thinking, what does really heedfulness mean? And I really think in this sense it means don't wait for better conditions, right? Carry on persevering with this regardless of what it is. This is not to brag, but when I was really sick on Thursday and Friday, I still tried to meditate. It was not pretty. It did not go well in the sense like I didn't feel like, oh, that was a wonder. Have you ever had that feeling you've been at a sitting and it was like, oh, that was wonderful. It's a wonderful sit. And other times you've been at a sitting and it's like, oh, that was just terrible. And in fact, you did the exact same thing in both times, right? You sat quietly for 20 minutes or 30 minutes or 3 weeks or whatever it happened to be. And the outer circumstances were really no different. It was just that inner weather that was there. And so don't wait for a better time. Don't wait for better weather, right? I hate to say it, I was not at all damaged by the weather. Uh, Nothing of mine, and I hope none of you had anything damaged and nothing flooded. So many people did, and I have friends that had some problems. My heart goes out to you if you had trouble, and to any of your friends or family who did. Um, but I was very lucky. It was a time I could just sit inside and be peaceful and meditative, and listen to the rain, because there was a lot of rain to listen to. There really was. Um, so when Amy's sick tonight and I had to come teach, well, I mean, I would be here anyway, but I had to throw this together. I didn't think, oh, we'll just not do this. It was like, okay, we'll just carry on. We'll just do this. And she's done the same for me when that has happened. My energy is low. I don't know how your energy is. I'm sure we're all a little frazzled from the storms. Nobody's probably like, oh, this is wonderful. I'm really glad the trades came back. That's great. So heedlessness is that quality that lets us practice, even when other things go on. Like, I don't think anything gets in the way of Zuzu being a dog. Trin, is Zuzu afraid of fireworks?
Yes, increasingly so. Yeah.
Okay, so that one does get her a little, but other than that, she's pretty heedless about being Zuzu. So most of us carry that quiet belief, I think that I know I do sometimes, that if I just keep this up and practice, I'll feel well. I want you to know, when I was sick over the weekend and I practiced, I did not feel weller. I was a little more in touch with being able to live with my symptoms. I was able to separate this idea of, oh, I'm this horrible sick person, to, oh no, sickness has arisen. But it didn't clear up the cough. It didn't clear up the sore throat. It didn't clear up any of that other stuff. But I still tried to practice, because it's what we do. This is a practice. This isn't perfection. It would be great if we could come here to the Bodhi Tree, sit once, become awakened. And I'm not saying it can't happen. That the suttas are filled with stories with people who became awakened in an instant. But that isn't going to happen for me, I don't think. So we just practice. The path isn't about being this mindful guru or anything, or spouting wisdom. It's really simply about being in touch with our own bodies and with what's going on. And the only way I can do that is to be heedless in this, and to continue regardless of the conditions. And I know it's possible. Our friend Benjamin over here, I'm sorry, I'm going to pick on you, Benjamin, but he's come through some pretty horrendous surgeries recently. And I'm not going to say he was free from pain, but I would suggest that he has told us that the practice helped him through that, right? And so if you can do that, it's probably pretty easy to practice when you have a bit of a cold, like I did. So I'm not comparing my cold to what he's been through recently. So even when my mind is foggy, or our minds are foggy, guess what the trick is? Oh, my mind is foggy. Oh, coughing is arising. Oh, sore throat arisen, right? Not this idea that somehow I am going to become like well. I know I carried that around for so many years. It's like tuning a stringed instrument. Does anyone play like guitar or something? Ukulele? Yeah. All right. I do. You have to tune it, right? And it always going out of tune, especially the G string for some reason. I don't know why, but the G string always goes out of tune. And so it's a constant thing. It's not like you tune your guitar once And then after that, it's all good. It's always like, oh, it's a little off, it's a little off. And we won't notice it if we're not paying attention to it. And so if you play an instrument, you develop that skill of listening, which is actually probably more important than many of the skills that you use in playing the instrument. Listening to what's there and going, oh wait, that G is out of tune again. Okay, I'll fix that. And it sounds sweet. And it wasn't helpful to interpret what was going on while I wasn't feeling well. I had a virus, I knew that. But trying to explain why I had a sore throat, it was just sort of this mental gymnastics. Right? It was just pain. Sensation has arisen here. There's my voice is fading, so I'm going to cut it short tonight. But I think I've hopefully made the point that we just practice. Just practice. It's a wonderful poem, though, that talks about becoming sort of okay with difficult situations. When I say that, I don't mean like we're happy to have difficult situations. I mean, the Buddha taught that we get sick, we grow old, and eventually we go away. I mean, there's nothing that's going to change that. But our attitude towards it can absolutely be changed. The way we relate to it can absolutely be changed, right? Right, Zuzu? Anyway, this poem is Wendell Berry's The Peace of Wild Things, which may be familiar to some of you, I can see. When despair for the world grows in me, and I wake in the night at the least sound, in fear of what my life and my children's lives may be, I go and lie down where the wood drake rests in his beauty on the water, and the great heron feeds. I come into the peace of wild things, who do not tax their lives with forethought of grief. I come into the presence of still water, and I feel above me the day-blind stars, waiting with their light. For a time, I rest in the grace of the world and am free. I think a lot of my meditation is that attempt to rest in the grace of the world. One definition of the Dhamma is everything, all of it, from the Big Bang through now, all of it. I rest in the grace of the world and am free. And I wish that for all of us. Let's sit again. This meditation will simply be sitting and resting in the grace of the world, allowing whatever arises to arise. And if you want to wiggle or move at any point, please feel free. If there's a practice you'd rather do, please allow yourself to do that. Just allowing ourselves to settle, to come to a rest with the wood drake and the great heron, whatever's outside. Allowing our consciousness to settle into our body, just as we're allowing our body to settle into our cushion or our chair. Just resting, stopping. If it's helpful, we might choose an anchor. It could be our breath, but if you're like me and have a little respiratory thing going on, you might, like I'm doing, choose the sensation of sitting and the sense of weight in my chair or your cushion, grounded and being held, not so much as an object of meditation, a point of concentration, but as something that's easy to find and to return to. It's steady. We might begin simply by being aware of the sensations in our body, without judgment, with curiosity. Neither pushing them away nor grasping at the pleasant ones. Just being aware of what's here in this now. Sounds will arise and they'll go all on their own. We needn't do anything. Sensations, likewise, and even thoughts arise on their own, linger a little while, a long while, and go somewhere. We needn't tell ourselves stories about them, these sensations, these arisings. But if we do, and we notice, simply note, oh, telling a story. This is simply what our minds do. We can notice with each arising of sensation or thought or sound that there's a feeling tone. It might be pleasant, often neutral, or perhaps even unpleasant. It's good to pay attention. We needn't explore why this is so. Just note that it is. This is our first momentary reaction. And as we sit and continue, we might open our awareness a bit more beyond our body to all the sensations around us, all the stimuli coming in from the room, all arriving in consciousness in this vast theater of awareness, each carrying its own tone, pleasant, unpleasant, or neutral, arising all on its own, unbidden, and leaving. We needn't ask it to leave. It will do so. We just leave the door open to all the guests. We might become aware that in this expanded awareness of all that's around us, everything's really just arising in our awareness. We are resting in the grace of the world, but it is truly here with us in awareness all the time. If we simply take the moment to look, to be present. And again, the words of Wendell Berry: when despair for the world grows in me, and I wake in the night at the least sound, in fear of what my life and my children's lives may be, I go and lie down where the wood drake rests in his beauty on the water, and the great heron feeds. I come into the peace of wild things, who do not tax their lives with forethought of grief. I come into the presence of still water, and I feel above me the day blind stars waiting with their light. For a time, I rest in the grace of the world and am free. Again, I'll allow the bell to ring briefly. There's no need to rush back. Allow the sound of the bell to rest in the grace of the world with the wild things, and with it be free. Thank you for practicing with me. And if you've joined us online, we're signing off now. Have a wonderful night.